Generally, in the search software, we will be expected to print out sales receipts or to print out purchase documents after you must have received goods, or give a sales receipt or the invoice in the form of a document to our customers. And for us to do that in Sage Gestion Commerciale, we must have created a model that will permit us to print out that document and maybe send it or give it to our customer. For us to do that, we have to get to Fichier, and we'll see here mise en page. We will have to completely design the template the way it will look like. And for us to do that, we have to get to Fichier, take mise en page, and a new or another window is going to appear. You can read there, mise en page, gestion commerciale. This is where you have the possibility to make all these modifications. Alright, when you come here on Fichier, you are going to see these options. Nouveau, créer à partir d'un modèle standard, ouvrir. Nouveau means you are going to create a new template, a new print format that you're going to use in the printing customers' invoices or sales receipts, which is a very long process because there are a lot of settings that has to be done inside. If you do not want to take more time, you can take this second option, which is create a partir d'un modèle standard. This option is already in this option we already have standards models that you can then use, modify it to suit your business. So I'm going to take the second option. When I take the second option, this is what is going to appear. I will now have to select the print or the model I want to modify. Is it Asha, like for purchases? If it's for purchases, you see there is a different print format for bon de commande, there's a different format for bon de livraison, there's a different format for facture. So if you want for an invoice, you obviously have to come and take facture for Asha. For my case, I'm going to show this example with the sales model. And for vente sales, I'm going to select this last option, which is vente tout taxe compris. An invoice for sales or tax inclusive. So from here, I'm going to take OK. And you can see the template appears. When you take it in your own machine, you will likely not have a short an 80 millimeters paper like this. As you can see, the information are exceeding the area of the paper. The area of the paper is exceeding and going a little bit extended, because normally the paper that will show on your own site is an A4 paper. It will be an A4 format. But in my own machine, it is not showing an A4 format because I had to install the Epson drivers in my machine. However, the paper format you are using will solely depend on the printer you will be using to print out the document. You cannot be using a ticket printer which is a 80 millimeters paper, those short papers they give out in the supermarkets or stores. And you come here, you come and prepare an A4 format. It will not actually pass. A4 and that 80 millimeters, they cannot go together. So in that case, you first of all have to install the drivers of the printer you have, the printer you're going to be using. So whatever the printer you are buying that you will be using in your business, you buy or you go download the setup, the drivers of that printer. When you download the drivers of the printer, automatically it is going to adjust the paper size in Sash. If you need, for example, the paper format, or let me say the drivers for Epson. So Epson is a printing, it's a ticket printing machine, and it is mostly for this over-the-counter sales in supermarkets, these short and thin tickets. So if you want it, you can I will leave a link in the description, so you can download it and might be installing your machine if you want to have this same format. When you finish installing, you reload your machine, or let me say you restart your machine. When you open Search and you get here, the paper will no more be A4, it will be based on the drivers you installed in your machine. So in this exercise, I'm simply going to modify based on the paper format in front of me. If you have a different paper format, you can simply either just allow it the way it is, because it will already have all the information. But for my case, I will have to reduce the information so that it fits in this 80 millimeters paper. So here I will have to put, for example, the company's name. I would like to put, for example, the company's name. I'll have to delete this, and I'll call it Frank, for example. Let's say this is the name of the business. Now here you have a toolbox, and it helps you to get the kind of tool you'll be using. Like as a noun, I am using a text tool, because now like this I cannot select something. When I want to select something, it's instead going and making as if I want to write something. So if I want to select, I will come here and click on this to show that okay, this is for selection. Now from here, if I click on something, I can select. Here you see this A is in case I want to type. I will have to first of all come and select this tool so that I can have the possibility to type. And if I want back the cursor, I'll just come and click on it and it will come here. So designing is solely, it solely depends on you how you want to design it. So I'm just going to show you the different options that are here. When you come to edition, you have simply shortcuts. Control plus X, Control plus C, Control plus V to copy, paste, and so on. When you come to view, you will have here annuler la green, which is stopping, like when you take annuler la green, activate la green, you are going to see those dotted lines showing exactly how you should place things inside. You could decide to not see it so that you have the possibility to place, or it will be much more flexible than before. Afficher les règles might be if you want a ruler, so you see exactly, as you can see, this 8 millimeters. So this paper is 8 millimeters. You can now use the ruler to place all the items you want it to be exactly the way you want it to be. Masquer les outils, like you will make in such a way that this toolbar should not show again. We don't want that. Afficher les motifs. Motifs, not really too necessary here. Afficher les sélections. All those things that are selected. So here, basically, the most important thing is for you to readjust all the information to fit in the paper format you are going to be using. And in doing that, there's here character. You can decide and make what you select, maybe the text. Let's say this text. You can decide to select, because now this text is italic. I can decide and unselect italic. You see it's no more italic, and make it to be bold. I can underline it and so on. But there are more settings. I'm going to remove the underline. There are more settings under police. When you enter into police, you have now the possibility to edit everything concerning the text you have selected. It's still loading. It's still loading. So this is it. So you will have to select maybe the font. You select the font type, the font size, everything. Let me select the font. Let's say I select this font, I select this font size. I can come here and select the color I want to apply. Then I take OK, and obviously you see it is going to be something like this. So now you can keep on designing the way it's supposed to be, the way you want it to look like. Like for example, in some cases we are going to be putting the phone number, the reference, the phone number of the business, the location of the business, and so on. Like for example, I can put a phone number. It all depends. Now I will not really waste time trying to design it perfectly. You can always sit down and see the way you want to design it perfectly. I want to touch most important points here. So here, when we came to view, there was something here like let me check on it. There was something here like afficher les règles. When you want to make modifications, you come and if those rulers are not there, you come here and take afficher les règles. When you take afficher les règles, not only this ruler in terms of these measurements appears, you also see things like something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this appearing. The paper is divided into different sections. Like this one is abbreviated DEB prime page, this début première page, like the beginning page. As you can see, there are information from here right up to here. They will represent the beginning page. Like for example, in my case, I would like my B to allow just the phone number here, and my B put a location. Let me just, I will duplicate this. I'll copy. I'll make a copy and paste. I will copy and then I will paste. So there is it. I'm going to, for example, I'm just duplicating this so that I can put the location. Let me just say, let me just put the location. Let me just put the location. So this is already good. You can place it the way you want. Okay. So I also want the document number to appear, so I can reduce the size. I can reduce its size. For example, I can reduce the size, carry it, come and place it somewhere here. Good. If I need any other information to be placed at the top of the receipt, I can put it there. The rest that I don't need, I'm going to delete them from here. I'm going to delete the rest that I don't need. To delete this, delete this, delete this. So now you see there is so much space between the elements I want at my top section of my invoice or of my document. So I'm going to carry this début première page, take it right up, so as not to have all that space, because if you allow it that way, just selling one product, the receipt is going to be so long. and we will be trying here to economize paper actually. So we'll make our sales receipt to be very short and to only be long when there are many products, because if we allow this thing down right here, what is going to happen is that all this space is going to be allowed, and here you see debut, the page where this other information will come and fall in and consuming paper for no good reason. So I'm going to carry this information, this line up. So that is the division, that's what is dividing, that's what is separating the top document with the content. Now here you have the descriptions of the body of the invoice. So for example, I'll need these things. I'll need, for example, reference. I'll come and put it here. And now reference, writing the whole word, it will be consuming. Might be here we're already talking about the reference of the article. I'm just going to put the ref. And here, let me select now the console. I'll come here and put description, just a little bit closer to gain in space. So I'm going to might be put this thing, this bar, so that it colors it. It all depends on me. I will just make it the way I want. You can beautify the way you want it to be. It all depends on you. So these other stuffs, they are out. I don't want them. Now I'm going to carry this debut de page, come and put it right here. So you see, it is going to separate this area to this area and put these descriptions. The next thing I want is, for example, the quantity. So these are just descriptions. The quantity, I'm going to put unit price. I'm going to put the unit price here. Unit price is too long, so I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to reduce it just to unit price, and beside I'm going to put amount, for example. Amount, I might not be placing them perfectly because we're trying to gain in time in this video. So now these were just headers. Now I'll have to come and carry these document lines. These document lines are setups. They are setups at the back end in such a way that when we select this line, we can set the kind of information this line should call. This one like this I'm currently selecting, this type of data, it is set up at the back end. It means that if I double click on it, you will see a setup zone is going to appear. So I can now select the type of information I want it to portray from the invoice I will be printing. Like for example here, I can already see that this particular one is representing reference d'article. If I want to change it, I just need to select the kind of information I want it to show when I am printing out the document. So I'll just allow the reference d'article. It means that this reference d'article will come here under the space for reference. But since it's consuming too much space, I'm going to reduce it like this, so that the reference of the article should go and appear in that particular line I have set up. Now, what happens is that if there are many references, this thing call is going to stop. How will I say it? It's going to make in such a way that if in an invoice there are many products, all of them, I don't need to create many references. I just need to put this one line, and it will consider all the number of products that are going to be in my invoice. Same thing here. When I double click on it, I can see that this one is the global text of meaning the description of the product. So I'll carry it, come and put it here, come and place it there. I might reduce the size of it. Quantity, I think this was quantity. When I double click on it, I see that it is quantity. If I want to change the content of this line, I can change it. It means that when I'll print this out, this particular line is going to provide me with the quantity of the product that for example I am selling. So I'll just reduce it, slim it, so that it should fall on the column form quantity. I think this should be unit price. Clean it there exactly. So I'll carry it, come and put here, and I will reduce the size so that it fits in there. However, if you reduce too much, the price might not, or the elements that are supposed to figure out in there might not figure out completely. So you will have to enter in your setups, I mean in this page, and reduce some elements or increase the size of some lines so that all the figures should be showing up. So here I'm going to take the total amount after I must have calculated, or something like this. Good. So I'll come and block it with call to show that this is where the body ends. So now here we have here the page where we can come and put net à payer, the net amounts payable, for example, net amount payable, and I'll put, I think this line is for net amount payable, and I double click on it, net à payer. Okay, it's going to carry the net amount payable in our invoice we must have entered inside gestion commerciale and take it here. So I will place it might be here. So I'll carry this pied de page, come put here to say that okay, Are you seeing how I've reduced the size of my invoice? If I keep it so long, it will be so long for no good reason. And it will also depend on the type of format we are preparing, because this one is a ticket, and you know tickets are always very small. If it's an A4 paper, you can decide and use the whole space and so on, because this template already considered to be in an A4 format, so I had to reduce it so that it enters in a ticket. Very short. That is why I'm carrying this pied de page. I'm limiting the areas that it should take into consideration. All these other areas will not be considered. I can equally put pied de page, this bar page, if I want to put it. I also put in my beam all these other informations concerning the business, like telephone or whatsoever. If I don't want it, I just allow. If I don't want to put any other information there, I just allow it this way. However, you can be putting the type of information you want, like rebates, discounts and everything, amount before tax, amount after tax. All you need to do is that when you take this type of lines like this, you double click on it, you come in here, you select whether it is coming from, for example, document source, where is it coming from exactly? Is it in document de vente en tête, document d'achat en tête? And here below, the type of fields that are in this type of document is going to show up, and you just select the type of information you want to portray in that particular line, and it's going to come up. So that is all you need to do. So you can see all these other information, they are not going to show up because I have already selected from here debut de page right up to bas de page. This is the only area that will be printed. The rest is out of zone. So what I need to do now is to save this. I'll have to take Ctrl+S. And I take Ctrl+S, they're going to ask me to save it somewhere in my machine, such that, because it's a model I'm going to be using next time when I want to print an invoice, I can therefore come and select that model, and it is going to bring out all the elements that are in that invoice in this model for printing. So I'm going to call it sales invoice, for example, and I take save. So I'm going to save it, for example, on my desktop in this folder. Let me say in this folder. I'm going to save it there. So from here, I can close this, and I come back to search. Do you remember in the previous lesson we saw how to create a sales document? If I want to print now the invoice I earlier prepared, I'll have to come and get to that particular invoice I want to print out. Remember, the format we created was for sales. If you want to create for purchases, when you go to fichier, you select facture achat, because here we selected facture vente. That is why it will only give on a sales document. If you want to create a format for purchase document, you go and create a format for purchase document, which will permit you to print out report or purchase receipts with that particular document. So let's say there is this invoice. I'm going to open it. Let me put some products inside. So for example, these, let's say we're selling 1 unit. Oh, sorry, this product is not in stock. I'm going to select a product that is in stock. Like for example, this product, let's say they're selling 10 units. I put it there. Let me select another product again. This product, let's say we are selling, for example, 3 units. So at this level now, I can come here on imprimer. There's an option here called imprimer, and I click on imprimer. They are going to ask for the format I will use to print it out. If I had not created this sales invoice format, I wouldn't have had the possibility to print it out or to show a print preview. So since it is there, I will simply come and double click on it. So I will take here aperçu avant impression, meaning to show a print preview. Or if I do not select this, it means that I should have a printer connected to my machine so that it starts printing. So I don't want to print it directly. I want to show a print preview. So that's why I will take here aperçu avant impression. Then I will take OK. So this invoice that was prepared in Search is going to be shown in the format I just created. It might not be so beautiful to look at because I was a little bit going fast. So this is how it's going to look like. I mean, it's not bad. So you can see there the reference is not showing the complete reference. It's not showing the complete reference because the space I provided for reference was too short. So I might want maybe to remove reference because it might not be too useful. I don't know, because maybe because of the format, the paper size, and so on. It all depends. You can start and remove the reference and the increase size for the designation, or you want to increase the size for the reference. When I'm talking about increasing, I mean the line that we provided below this description reference. You can see the quantity is there, the unit prices are there, and the total amounts are there, the net payable. And if you needed more information, you could have just been inputting it in that format and they will be appearing here. So this is how you prepare your receipts. So let me just show you maybe another one that I did earlier before. I had some 10 minutes. I had to do it. I think it will be located somewhere in my machine. I'm just going to look for it. I don't know exactly where I saved it. Let me check in one of these. Let me check on this format. Okay, as you can see, this is another one I made earlier. you see it is much more organized. It gives the different informations and so on, which is basically the same thing. So you just need to design it the way you want it to be. You can put the cache and everything on your format. You just need to get into the settings and get the type of information you want to bring in on that document. Now, here we are printing it in Sage Gestion Commerciale, which is barely a long procedure. If you are using a Sage saisie, the case, it will be much more easier because all of these things you will not need to come and click on imprimer. When you just validate the transaction, it will go ahead. So now what happens is that when you come and take imprimer, look at what happened. They will come and ask you for the import, they will come and ask you for the format you want to select to print, which is time consuming. Customers will not be waiting that you keep on selecting and so on. So what you can do is that you can attach this format to customers such a way that when you come and take print, it will not ask you to select a model, because the model must have already been embedded in the different customers, so that when you click on imprimer, it should already start printing out or ask for a print preview. So for you to do that, when you come to structures, you go to your third parties, the plant here, for example, customer. If you created a format for suppliers, you come and select here fournisseur, same procedure. So I'm going to take here customer, and on customer, I'll open, for example, the customer I'm using here. I think it's this customer, for example, client divers. So I'll come on paramètres, which is settings, and I'll come on option impression. On option impression, I'll come here and select facture comptabilisée, because what we are printing out in this document we are printing out is a facture, it's an invoice à comptabiliser. So I'll come at the level of facture comptabilisée. Remember, I came to settings, I came to option impression. I'll come on facture comptabilisée. I'll take these 3 dots that are by the side, and from there I'm going to select the model to attach it to this customer, such that next time when I'm making a sales with this customer, they should not ask me to select the model again, because the model must have already been attached to that customer. So I'll go and look for where it is located. It is located on my desktop, I think so. Located on my desktop in this document, and this is it. So you can see it has been attached. Please, if you change the location of your model, there will be a problem, because as you can see, it is looking towards a particular location in your machine. So I'll take OK. Let's just give it a try. When I take imprimer, let me just close it. Let me close it and open it back, and see, generally it works after you must have closed the system and open it back. But let me just check if actually entered. It is there. Okay, I think it's fine. So for it to work, you need to close the software completely and you open it back, so that it can actually refresh, because as of now in my own software it cannot work, because I have not yet refreshed. Or let me just close the company and open it back. Fermer, ouvrir. I think this is it. I think we're going to give it a try again. So document de vente, I open it. Let's try and see if it will go. Oh, it's still asking for the model. However, it is surely because this particular document was already created, and it might not have refreshed it in this particular invoice. But from the next invoice you are going to create, when you just take print out, it will not ask for the model again. It will directly show a print preview. It will directly ask you to either make a print preview or to print it directly without possibly selecting the model again. This is how you make the model for printing in Sage Gestion Commerciale. Now, one more thing. The model has been saved on my machine, so let me just get to it. I want to show you how to impute the logo too, because it's something many people usually have difficulties on. Where is it? I think this is it. I will just open that format. This is it, sales invoice. I'm going to open it. So for you to impute a logo in Sage, you cannot just import and it will enter with no problem. Like, for example, let me get a logo here. Let me get a logo. If I take, for example, this is a logo, and I carry it, come and drop here, for example, this is the message you're going to tell me mauvais type de document, meaning the document here, the document type of this logo is not appropriate to enter in Sage. In that case, I will have to convert the image type so that it should be in bitmark. And how do I do that? I will look for Paint in my machine. I think in every machine there is the software Paint. I think there is software Paint in every machine. So you open Paint. You first of all take your logo, send it into Paint. Then you save your logo in a different format which is called bitmark. So let's do it together. I'll come and carry my logo. I think it is in pictures. So I'll carry the logo, I'll drop it in Paint. I'll drop it in Paint. Good. It might be a little bit larger. Okay, so this is the logo here. So I'll come to Files and I'll take Save As. When I take Save As, I'll come here on the Save As type. It's PNG, but I'm going to change the Save As type. I'm going to change it to 256 color bitmap. Exactly. So this is the format I'm going to give my logo, and I can give it a name, for example. I don't know. I can give it a name. Okay, then I take Save. So now the logo is going to reduce the capacity or the color. The color of your logo is going to be reduced, meaning the quality of the image is going to be reduced. And in fact, that's the bitmap format. It reduces the quality of the image. Now, what do you do when you convert or when you transform it into a bitmap document? Still in Paint, you take Ctrl+A to select all, like to select it all. Ctrl+A to select all. Then you can now right click and take Copy. You now copy your logo from Paint. Then you come to search, you take Ctrl+V to paste. From here, I think everything is going to be okay. It's going to enter there. You can see the logo is there, just that it's a little bit large. So I'll have to reduce the size. I have to reduce the size of the logo and put it on the position I want it to be. You can see this is it here. It's just a little bit large. You resize it. You just resize it. So when you finish resizing it, just that it's going to take us time to be reducing the size of this thing. So, however, for your logo to enter in Sage, you need to first of all convert it into a bitmap. And where do you convert it into a bitmap format? You convert it in Paint. So you readjust it and go and put it in its location. So that is how you create a print format. That is how you input the logo into your template, and that is how you have the possibility of printing out your receipts properly without any problem. Get to you in the next video.